Hello and welcome to the Catholic Geek live stream where we discuss Catholicism while having a geeky time. Today is my introduction video, and first of all, my hair looks terrible, and if you hear screaming in the background, it's because my kids are not wanting to go. So, I apologize for that. Anyways, I was going to give a little bit of an idea of what we're doing while we do this. So, first of all, let me take my hat off because I don't do prayer with my hat on. I find that disrespectful, so I'm not doing a direct prayer, but I'm lighting a prayer candle because I try to do this every so often with intentions of people I've told I'd be praying for them. And also, I think we should pray for the intentions of the Pope and that he does the right thing, and that all the bishops, priests, etc., that are involved in the issues in the church with the sex abuse come forward and, confess their sins and have a conversion of their own hearts. And that, what else? I had a list of things I was thinking of. Anyway, just pray for everything that needs to be prayed for. So we will light the candle. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So now, so I don't accidentally burn my house down, I'm going to stick our candle over here. And I don't know if it can be, yeah, y'all can see it. Okay. And no, it's actually not close to the books. There's actually like a good 1.5 feet between them. So anyways, let us get started properly. Okay, let me turn my mouse on. My mouse is, there we go. Live chat, let's see, visible chat. Okay, well, no one's there. Hello and welcome. Oh, I don't type that often. I keep pushing caps lock. There we go. Anyway, I'm hoping this is a better turnout than it was on Monday. We did our Catholic Truths live stream based on our video on Monday, and no one showed up for like 30 minutes. It was very frustrating. Oh man, I really should have gotten my hair done better. Anyways, so I thought I would do a little bit of an introduction and go over some of the little geeky stuff that I like to do. First of all, I have 8 of these left. Now, these are mine for. I was going to work on these tonight. For those of you that play Pokemon Sun, Ultra Sun, Moon, Ultra Moon, all last year they were having special events for legendary Pokemon because the games divided had between them all the original past legendaries, not mythical, just legendaries. But the event they did almost every month would allow you to get the opposing legendary, which kind of removed the whole concept of trading to get legendaries. But anyways, these are my 4. I still have not done the last event in my Gen 7 games yet. However, I do have 8 extras, so if anybody tonight wants them, I can give them to you because it has to be tonight because this event ends tomorrow. So I'm really late on the game on that. I did that these past things. I kind of got over-evented out. Anyways, so obviously I play Pokemon. If you can't tell, I have actually got Let's Go Eevee up on the screen right now. So you can't really see it. The screen doesn't like me. For some reason, it likes to do all that. Anyways, so some of the stuff I was planning on doing, I may not do just because we don't have anybody joining us right now. Anyways, just to give you an idea of some of my geeky stuff, though, I'm a Pokemon fan. I play Pokemon. I'm obviously a Doctor Who fan. To give you an idea of how much it is, I have the newest sonic screwdriver. Now, there's a lot to be said about this, and we won't go there. But I do have a lot of the past sonic screwdrivers, too. I just don't have them out right now. Other things that I geek out on, those of you that are my age, which I won't say, but if you're from the 90s, you will recognize these as the prototype Let's Go stuff. This is the original Pocket Pikachu, and my son has been playing with it for a while. This thing is over 20 years old, and for the first time, we did something I didn't know was possible. If you beat it, yep, you can actually beat this thing.
Hey.
No, mute, please, mute.
Sure.
Sorry, that's part of the show. The chat's active, but for this isn't like a normal Ask a Catholic. Sorry. Anyways, anybody on Amino listening to me right now is going to have no idea what I'm really doing because this is meant to be a live stream on YouTube. Which, hello, Gina. Gina joined us. I think Gina is from Catholics Amino. So Now I don't feel as bad because there's actually people coming in now. But anyways, I'll say it again. This is where we discuss a little bit of Catholicism. So in Amino, if you have any questions, just type them out for me. But if you want to come over and join me on the YouTube, the link is on. Actually, I think they featured it here in Genesis, and you can just go to that and find my live stream and watch. It also helps boost my own stuff there personally. Pius, I do hope you're getting better. You're part of my prayer intentions. I lit a candle earlier, so you're in that. But anyways, I was showing off my sonic screwdriver, which we won't discuss the shape. But I was in the process of discussing my old Pocket Pikachu. My son been playing it. He actually beat it. I didn't know it was something you could beat. I just thought it was a pedometer. Once it filled up, you just had to reset it. But and it's very loud and deafening. So after 20 years, this thing still works. However, I also have the Pocket Pikachu 2, which is a little more different, a lot different. Pikachu in it doesn't really like me that much. It actually has color in it. It's still pretty much an 8-bit thing, but it resets every day your pedometer, so it doesn't have an end to it from what I can tell, unless there's some overview thing. Now, the fun thing about this thing, to tell you how durable they used to make things and how durable Nintendo in general makes things, I had this thing for about a year. We used to own horses when I was growing up, and one day my horse ran over me. It wasn't its fault. I was going down a hill off the side of our pond, and he just came running down it. Anyways, he ran over me. I trampled me, pretty much. And it didn't occur to me until about 2 days later, I was missing this. I couldn't find it because it had snowed that evening, and so, well, spring comes around, and I end up finding it sticking out of the mud, completely covered in mud, just, dead for all intent and purposes. So, of course, I was sad. Well, a few years ago, I just decided, it had been a few years, obviously. This thing's about 19, 18 years old, something like that. So I ended up cleaning it off a little bit, putting a new battery in it, and lo and behold, it worked. Thing still worked. So, yep, there's that. Now, one of my big fan things I like to do is Digimon. Now, these are the original D3 Digivices, American release. This one does not have any batteries in it because it keeps messing up. There's little springs in it that hold the battery down are missing, and I can't get anything to replace them. So every time I put it in, the battery ends up getting loose, and it just makes this awful sound and freezes up. So I got to order some new springs. Now, I have the version 2 of that, which I beat when I was young. My son has been obsessed with this thing for the past probably 6 months. So he's been playing around with it, and sure enough, these things are still durable because he drops it all the time and it hasn't broken. And I hope he doesn't break it because I have to pay $50 to $100 to get a new one online if he breaks it. Now, my pride and joy, really, though, is this. This is the Japanese 20th anniversary version of it. So it's a lot different. My favorite little doohickey and stuff. These are just pedometers. They're not, you don't raise them or anything. You walk steps and, you're adventuring, you digivolve, fight bad guys and stuff like that. Now, this is a little special because you can go up and scan TVs with it and it gives you prizes. The old American ones, they dumbed them down for us so we don't get all the good stuff. This is the 3rd season D-Arc. I can play this and beat it pretty easily because it's another adventure type game, pedometer thing. The downside to it is I can't save my progress. If it dies, and I have to restart from the beginning because there's a little adapter here, and you can plug it into your computer using a software that's been long offline for probably 15 years. You can still use it to save your progress go because once you take the batteries out, it just dies on you, and it resets everything. So that's kind of sad because I did have it maxed out. All my characters were fully maxed out. Now, this one is the Season 4 Detector. I have beaten the story of this one, and unfortunately, this was, I think, the only release of this in America, and it's pretty fun. It's hard to get the hang of because you got to use motion sensor to do different attacks and whatnot. I actually have a thing on my phone, probably about that long, of each enemy Digimon, what patterns they use to beat them, and sometimes they're just guesswork, though. The good thing about this is the first time in the American devices they actually used flash memory. So even if the batteries go dead, I can change them out and it'll go, would you like to continue? I can say yes. The Japanese 20th anniversary I have does the same thing, but I can't read Japanese. Battery went dead on me the other day, and I just kind of blindly guessed what I was choosing, and now I know how to do it if I need to reset because I chose the right answer. Now these are all just pedometers, just little adventure things. What I'm planning on doing is I've already pre-ordered the newest regular, like what they call virtual pets of Digimon. I've pre-ordered those from Japan. I should be getting them next month, hopefully. They come out at the beginning of the month, so I don't know. It's from Japan, so it may take like 6 months to even get a hold of them. But they're actually where you raise them out. I know they have a map on it, but I'm not sure how the if there's a pedometer in it or another. They don't use pedometers as much anymore as they use accelerometers. So there's not a that you hear like you hear in this one. But instead, it senses your motion. My 20th anniversary has accelerometer in it, but you can still hear the clicking in it because they put it in for nostalgia reasons. But literally, people have taken them apart. It connects to nothing. And on the term of little weird electronic things, my Tamagotchi died. He is, well, for Americans, they don't die. They go home to space. So maybe on one of these later in the future, I'll reset this thing. Well, just tell them to hatch a new egg because I take pretty good care of them. So every time they do this, they leave an egg behind if I did good. And therefore, it creates a lineage, so to speak. So we'll hope that he does that because my son was helping me with that one. My son has, this is a remake of the original, but it's a generation 2, I think. And my son has a generation 1, and he hates it so much because the game in it is blind. You have to choose which way to do it, and this one gives you numbers, so it's easy to work with. Okay, what else? Well, that's not all my games. Here's my 3DS. I got my 3DS here, which is about to go to funk pretty much because the new Pokemon game is coming out on the Switch. But I had planned on working on these cards tonight on here, but no one's really watching or asking about them, so I don't see a point. Let's see. My son left all of his games in here, but here are my games. I got quite literally all my Pokemon games right here. Not all of them, all the DS and 3DS. Well, there's 3DS games actually. Somewhere packed away, I have like 20 other Pokemon games. Now, my son left his game in here too. So if you didn't see it when I started, here's my hat. I was wearing it, but my hair is like all freaky, and I put it on, it sticks out everywhere. Books. Because, this is Catholic Geek, so we got to talk a little bit about Catholicism here. So I found this book in my library the other day, not my school library or my home library, my personal library. I didn't even know I had this book. It's Why Do Catholics Do That? A Guide to the Teachings and Practices of the Catholic Church. It's an older book. Like you can tell, the pages are kind of a yellowish tan to them from where they aged. And I'm a book aficionado, and some of the pages were folded down, and I kind of cringed in sadness. 1994. This book should be a lot older than that from this look, but it's not. So this book's not even as old as me, and it looks like it's about twice as old as me. Oh, there goes my daughter again screaming. She fell asleep when she shouldn't have, and then she needed to wake up for a nap, and because of that, she's screaming her head off. Now, for those that haven't seen it, this is my copy of St. Augustine's Confessions, and that's probably backwards on there, so I'm sorry about that. But there's a lot of books that come from, what's the name of this publishing company? I like it. Hang on. Catholic Book Publishing Corp. And they all have this little insignia on the bottom. You can't really, I don't know if you can see it that well. There you go. But like, here's my minute meditations that I read each day. I'm supposed to read them each day. I keep getting behind, so I end up having to read a week of them in a row. But it's also got the little insignia on it. In fact, even my breviary, my Liturgy of the Hours books, all versions of it I have that little symbol on the side because it's all from the same company. Now this is from the same company, but this book doesn't. This is pretty much a priest's handbook of indulgences right there. There are 70 indulgences different, so it's not like there's tons of different things you can just do. There's set amount of what you can do. And I've been reading through this, just a little bit of a hobby of mine, just to pick up a book and read. And right now I'm on number 44. Most of these are really short. Here, let me change that so you can see it. You can see some of them are really short. However, it gives me 5 different litanies in here to read through. So earlier today I was reading through them, kind of speed reading, but still. To give you an idea, this is just the litany. Oops, this is just the litany of the saints right here. So yeah, that's a lot right there, and that's only one of the 5. But anyways, it goes into detail about what indulgences are, how they affect you. If any of you in Amino are more curious about it, I can send a better picture of it and send it down, so y'all can see them. Now, I like to sometimes show off my little personal Bible. I found this a while back, and I fell in love with it. It's got a miraculous medal on it right here. And aside from the fact that it actually says Holy Bible here, if you were just looking at it, you wouldn't know. It's kind of zipped up. But you can zip it down. Lo and behold, and there's your Bible. The only downside to it is this is the front cover. So if something were to happen and someone tried to rip it out, it would destroy it. That's the only downside to it. But I love it. And, of course, this is a Catholic edition. It's got all 72 books of the Bible in it. So, sorry, my Protestant brethren. You got more books than yours. Oh. Now, here is a good book every faithful Catholic, even non-faithful Catholic, just Catholic in general, should have, so they can read through the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I am in the process of reading through it. I am about to start the 6th commandment, which is in part 3 of 4 parts. Yeah, this is not one to just sit down and start reading like you're reading a Harry Potter book. This is a good, I'm bored for a moment, let me read a couple of sections. I was sort of like, a lot of people don't read the Bible like a normal book. They'll sit down and read a chapter or 2 a day. That's pretty much how you have to read this, because it's like reading, I don't know, washing machine instructions almost. It breaks down the teachings of the church and biblical scripture into a better way to understand what the church teaches on it. So it's a good guide. If you are learning about Catholicism, you want this. Now, granted, if you know nothing about Catholicism, this probably is not the best starting book, because you are going to be so overwhelmed. I don't have a good book for starting right now, but I would recommend Catholicism for Dummies. Believe it or not, it's a really good book. Now, let's see if I can get this put up over here. My wife surprised me the other day by ordering me this, the Wartime Prayer Book by Fulton Sheen. I haven't read it yet, because I told my sister-in-law today I'm going to try, when I'm teaching my kids during the day when they're busy doing stuff, I'm going to sit there and try reading a little bit out of each of my books so I can actually finish all the books I'm currently reading, because I am in the process of reading, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 different books. Right? Nope, 7, 6, 7. If you count my Lord of the Rings over here, I got my that gray book on the bottom. It's a really nice copy. I love that copy. Yeah, I'll show it off, actually. That's how much I love it. You're also looking at the future side of my desk, because this is most likely where my desk is going to be once I get my new stuff. But anyways, this is my copy of The Lord of the Rings. I love it. One big bound copy. It feels like it's an old book. The paper is nice, thick paper instead of cheap, thick paper, Walmart paper. I need to get a new copy of this and my Hobbit book, which my Hobbit book is, I can't get to it right now, but it's this little brown book. It looks very old and classic too, but they've all got some dings and scratches on it, which shows good wear and tear from reading, but for a collector, it's sort of like, But yeah, this is my little fun book here. I'm in chapter 5 right now. I've read all this once before, so it's rereading, but Lord of the Rings is one of those books that's so thick that when you read it, you have to go back so you can catch more stuff. It's like watching a huge movie for the first time, and you're just so excited watching it, you miss half of everything going on except for the major plot. So you go back and you start reading it again, or watching the movie again. You find all those little things. Watch it again, and you find even more things. That's like what reading Lord of the Rings is like. How they used to write versus how they write today is a lot different. Sort of like, what was it? Someone comparing Justin Bieber's "Baby" song to one of Elvis's song. He was just like, "Oh baby, 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 baby," whatever. I don't know the song, and then it had like a whole bunch of lyrics from Elvis. I think it was like love songs, and so they're doing "Can't Help Falling in Love with You," but it was pretty fun. Also, those of you that are on Amino, if you're there, if you want to ask any questions, I am open to answering any questions. Of course, it looks like I know who both of you guys are, but y'all, of course, can still ask questions. I am going to actually, in this process right now, I'm going to turn on my 3DS. So I put my codes in. I got 4 games. I got to do this before tomorrow. Favorite set of daily prayers you'd suggest? Well, that's always a personal thing, obviously. But if I could recommend doing the breviary every day, um, we haven't been able to do our liturgy of the hours in our home for about 4 or 5 days now because of complications. I was actually planning on doing them tonight, but I realized as I was about to get them ready that my sister-in-law was giving my kids a bath, so I couldn't do them. But I recommend doing that. Doing one of the hours. We don't really do evening prayers. There's a few apps you can use. I paid for the app iBreviary, or is it? It might have been a free app. I can't remember. But that's a good way to do it. You can just do the rosary daily. If you want to get really involved, do the 15-decade rosary. Sorry, I am putting in passwords on Pokemon here. Oh, my codes are right here because these are my specific ones right here. Okay, I know if my battery runs out. Okay, yes. I would like to receive a code or gift. Okay. Anyways, let me do this. I'd also recommend getting something like a Minute Daily Prayer type book. If you can go to a good Catholic bookstore, Sandsaver, there's you'll typically find a bunch of different daily minute prayer books. There's like one for that would by the for the Pope, not that he uses, but it's like prayers regarding the Pope. So that have intentions that way. One more devotion to Mary. I have just the basic ones. Hang on. Uh-huh. 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 There's the land and one more there. It's very frustrating when they actually use a keyboard that's in alphabetical order instead of actually one on regular that's done like a regular keyboard. I know why they do it because it's hard to reposition all of that for every language they put the game in. It's very frustrating. Let's see. I managed to make my way through St. Bridget's prayers and rosaries in between classes. Unfortunately, I write letters to my friends and companions then. Says there aren't many good Catholic bookstores, right? And I live down in Mississippi right now. There are no Catholic bookstores. In fact, I joke with my wife that we should open one because the only Christian bookstore around here is what's it called, Lifeway, I think, and they are somewhat against Catholicism, so that's putting it easy, I guess. I kind of told my wife I want to walk in there and be like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a rosary," just to see what the look that would come on their faces. Now, when I was in Pennsylvania, oh my goodness, that's where it was great. Now, the bookstore we actually went to was in Maryland. When we were staying in Maryland, well, it was in Delaware, but we were right in the tri-state area. I always made jokes of Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'd be like, "I'm going to take over the tri-state area," and I don't want to ride the Pokemon. Do I have an open space? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, that's right. I prepped this game so I'd be able to. Normally, with these events, since you can soft reset to get better stats, I do that, but I'm not really going to be using any of these Pokemon. So that was the last event for this game, I believe. So that means I can put Ho-Oh in here. Oh my goodness, I don't know which box to put it in. Oh my goodness, hang on. Actually, in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you go through wormholes to find all these legendaries. And I have all my legendaries divided up into what color wormhole they go into, so I know which ones I have and ones I don't. And that's important because you want, if there's like Zekrom in one game and Reshiram in the other, if you can get both of them in one game, then you can go to a specific wormhole and you'll get Kyurem to attack you. So it's a trilogy thing. Now, right now I'm doing Lugia and Ho-Oh. That doesn't matter because they don't do a third one, but I still want a thing, but I don't know. Aha. So he is in the red box. Hang on, what color is that? That's blue, green, red. Huh. Where does he go there in that box? After Moltres. Okay. Put them back. Now I can actually get my party back out, because I was working with leveling up a handful of different Pokemon to max them out. And if you've said anything, give me just a moment and I'll get to you. Oh, I have a Florges. I think I got a Florges just because I was wanting a Florges. Okay. Let's put Mimikyu in. I have a Totem Mimikyu that knows. Oh, these all have the whatchamacallit, the Pokerus virus. I didn't realize that. I forgot about that. I remember it now. I actually managed to get the Pokerus virus. That's pretty cool. Okay, well that's one of them. Okay, hang on. Let me see where Lugia is supposed to go, so I know where he go, which box he goes in. Lugia goes in the blue box. Okay. No, 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 no. Okay. Sorry if I missed any questions here. I didn't. Okay. Yeah. No, the bookstore that when we were in Delaware and Maryland, it was awesome. I don't want to play Planet Robo. It's asking me to play demos for games I haven't even downloaded. Okay, so this one is now officially garbage. Okay, that card, not the game. Okay, let's see. Let me go ahead and do my just regular moon version. There we go. Okay, what we got? Pies, did they actually determine whether or not you have strep throat or not? I mean, if you can type or anything, if you're still even listening, I don't know. I am sorry you're feeling bad. I've had strep throat before. It can be pretty bad. It's been a long time since I've been really sick like that. Most of my sicknesses are very weird sicknesses. Also can't handle greasy foods, undoubtedly. Every time recently I've had like a greasy hamburger, about 2 in the morning, me and the bathroom are good friends, let's put it that way. Okay, let's do this one. So, Okay. If you hear me making weird sounds like that, it's because I'm trying to input these codes, but I don't want to say the codes out loud lest someone actually comes in and tries to use the code before I get to use it. Because that has definitely happened to people before. Okay, so I don't know if anyone listening on Amino cares, but hopefully maybe future people watching these videos. Yesterday we got it was early this morning, I believe, we got the announcement of the newest Pokemon games coming out this fall. They are going to be taking place in a region, Galar, I think, Galar, Galar. It's inspired by England this time, which is pretty interesting. And what makes that really more interesting is that the names of the game are Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now, I heard some people guessing that might have been the names recently, like about a week ago, but we weren't really sure. But we do know that on both of them, there's different looking wolves' heads sticking up over the top of the logo. So there's probably going to be either it's 2 different new legendaries, which is typical. However, it is also possible. All right, I didn't do that in this game. It is also possible that that it's the same legendary in both games and it takes different forms depending on which game you're in. Well, we don't know yet, of course, but we'll just have to see. But it looks interesting. We've seen the new starter Pokemon now. We got a fire bunny named Score Bunny. I can't remember exactly. I wish I could now. It looks kind of cute, and I'm not a big fan of it, but I might end up using it anyways. But we also got the water type, and it's a water chameleon. So we get a new chameleon-based Pokemon, but this one actually evolves, unlike the previous one. Kecleon does not evolve. So we got 2 of these down. And then we have our grass monkey. Now, I was a little disappointed. If I was disappointed in any of them, mainly it was that one, because we already have a grass type monkey Pokemon. It's Pansage and Simisage. So I don't know what they were thinking when they did this, and it's possible this was a Pokemon they had planned a long time ago and didn't use it, and somehow the Pans and Simi Pokemon got used first. But if you know anything about the history of Pokemon, you know that just because it comes out now doesn't mean it wasn't planned a long time ago. Like 4th generation had a Pokemon that's described in detail in the 1st generation game, because it's like they say a small pink Pokemon that had a flower pattern on it. Well, suddenly you get what was it called? It was the Dream Pokemon. It evolves, I believe, into something called Muna. I can't remember what its original name was. It's pre-evolution, but yeah. But anyways, one thing to note for this channel is hopefully in another couple of weeks, I will have a special device that I can plug into my game system, and I can do some actual live streaming of my game playing, like my Switch right here. Okay, which is one of the big things I want to do on this channel. Okay. Anyways, sorry, I was putting in another password. I got one more to do after this one. See, that's 4 games, about 10 legendaries. So you got 40 different events I had to do. My goodness. If I actually had one that I was going to get good, I would use this Lugia here. Not this one, the next Lugia, which I may actually do. I may get the better stats for the next Lugia I open up. I'll just have to see what I'm going to do with it. For those of you that have actually played, the 7th generation Pokemon games, you know that we have the Pokepalego, which allows you to specially train your Pokemon to max out their stats if they've already got other maxed out stats, like their EVs versus IV stuff. And it's been a while since I've done it. I haven't picked up this game in 3 months, which is bad for me because I'm a Pokemon addict. But I've been playing Let's Go Eevee. That's my game. My son got Let's Go Pikachu. He hasn't been able to play it yet, even though we got it on the day it came out. And that is because we only have one Switch, and he ain't touching mine. So we're getting a new one relatively soon. Actually, I think what we're going to end up doing is they're releasing a new version of the Switch that's got more storage in it. So I'll end up probably getting that one for myself and just transferring my data over and giving him my older one, which is okay because I don't necessarily want to give him a brand new device because he's 9. Okay, let's move this over. 2, 3, 4. Huh. All right. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what my party was in this game because it's terrible right now. All my Pokemon are low leveled. And I can't figure out why. Now I'm like, oh, right, this is my Sun version. I never played it that much. But I have an empty space, and I don't know what Pokemon I was using there is. Quite literally, I don't know. I'm looking through all this stuff here, and I honestly don't know what my 6th party member was. Oh, was it the Shiny Tapu Koko? No, I don't think it was the Shiny Tapu Koko. That's in my original Moon version. My goodness, I don't honestly know. Marshadow and Zygarde, no. Honestly, don't know what my 6th party member was. Maybe it was a Tapu Koko. No, it wasn't Tapu Koko because I have a Raichu in this team. Oh, it's my Wait, is that it? I guess that's it because it's level 76. It's my Primarina. Yeah, because I had each of the starters in this version of the game because I'm a cheating boy. Oh, all right, Pius. I'm sorry. Good night. My friend Pius is very sick. He probably has strep throat, and he was just telling me goodbye because he is not feeling well whatsoever. No. Go back into it. I don't think I saved the game. Go back in. Okay. Well, I guess I'll turn the chat off in Amino right now. So, well, if I can get into it. Okay, come on. My finger keeps covering up the camera and it keeps turning it off. There we go. Oh, goodness. This person's following me. This person's following me. And that's it right now. I am learning all this technology as I go. I mean, not how to use some of the stuff, but I'm learning how to deal with certain technologies. So I don't know how a lot of live streamers do stuff, and I should probably do a little research on that. But I have seen live streamers using their phone to read text messages and stuff as they go. And oh my goodness, I have an email. It's not that I keep getting it or anything. It's just that I keep saying, yes, I read this email, and then I close out my email, and then I come back later and it says, you have an unread email. And it's the same thing. It's my doctor's appointment is tomorrow. And it's a thing for that. So yeah. Anyways, there. I think I just saved this game like 5 times in a row because I wasn't. Anybody that plays Pokemon understands this because you're like, I saved it. Wait, did I save it? Better save it again just to make sure. And yeah, that's unfortunately a common occurrence in the Pokemon fandom. So that was Sun. So now let's get Ultra Sun out. What other game do I have back there? Oh, it's my Sonic Classic General Collection. Just so you know, if you ever get the Sonic Classic Collection, it's terrible. It really is terrible. It's not that these Sonic games, it's the original games. It's not that they're terrible. What makes it terrible is the fact that they don't port well. They did not port well. And so if you played the game on a Sega like I did when I was young, I beat every one of the original Sonic games at some point in time. Granted, I honestly can't remember if the very first Sonic game I actually beat because I always get stuck in the labyrinth zone. But if anything, I knew the cheat code to get to the level select screen. But oh man, I played the fire out of Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. In fact, I was the only person I knew growing up when I was younger that had actually beaten the combined Sonic 3 and Knuckles game. So that was and I didn't do it just once. I did it on every save file in that game. Well, not every save file. I had 2 blanks because I beat it as Sonic, I beat it as Knuckles, and I beat it as Sonic and Tails. So there's 3 different ways to beat it. And I beat it. And there's 3 different endings, good endings, depending on how you beat it, as long as you get all the emeralds. If you beat it as Sonic or Sonic and Tails, I believe what happens is you end up just leaving the island, and it kind of glows, and when you put the Master Emerald back. If you play as Tails, you start seeing it lift up, I think. And if you play as Knuckles and you beat it and stuff, the whole end credits is the island floating up into the sky, and it goes right into the atmosphere. It's pretty neat. So one of the earliest games I played that had a whole storyline of different endings that told a complete storyline if you watched all the endings, I guess is the way to say that. Okay, let me put my last one here. Okay, Okay, that's easy to remember. SP. There we go. Verifying. Yep, that's all 4 now. Well, is it all 4? Now it's all 4. only once have I had one ever mess up when it was doing that. But it always tells you if it does mess up doing that, you can't download it because it accepted it, but it let me do it again. So I guess it's kind of a hit or miss thing. The Lugia is one of my favorite legendaries. Unfortunately, in the metagame, it's just not worth it. I mean, it's not a good Pokemon to battle with in a tournament or anything. I mean, it's a normal, or it's a flying and psychic type. So, and because of its history, it also knows some water moves, which makes it really funny. But, you know, I'm not going to actually even worry about the version of it here either. I'm just going to put it in the... but the electric attacks take it out easily. Dark attacks take it out. It doesn't have a good... I mean, it's a legendary, so it's got the stats of a legendary, but just overall, it's not that great. Unfortunately. Okay, there's my Decidueye. There's all the legendaries from these events. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8? I thought there were 10. Well, if there was only 8, then that means times 4. That is 32 different times I had to do this during this year. Now, the time before that, there was definitely a lot more than that because there was the whole whatchamacallit, mythical events. Mythical, they went crazy for the 20th year anniversary. Mythical everywhere. Oh, okay, so I can put my team back together here. For this game, I remember I tried a special team just to try it out. So I used a Decidueye as my starter, a Luxray for my electric, a Lapras for my water, a Volcarona as my fire, Tyranitar as my as a dark ground type or rock type. And then as I got through the game, I eventually got Mimikyu because you can't play the game without Mimikyu. Mimikyu's just too awesome. And then I do have Solgaleo. I don't typically use the legendaries for the games that often. Now in the newer games, especially these, I've tried. It's just by the time I get to them, I've already beaten. I just realized I haven't even gotten all the Tapus in this game yet. I've only got 3 of them. Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, and Tapu Bulu. Tapu Fini's next. I hate Tapu Fini because she heals herself. That's why I haven't done it. Oh, right. I'm mean. So I learned something you can do the other day. Oh, not the other day, a few months ago. But I started using what was it? What did I do? Pretty much got a really good stat, a perfect stat Persian, that that new Payday. And then I would give it the the amulet coin. Then I would go and find Chanseys. Then I would use an adrenaline orb, get it knocked down, hit it down until it got 1 hit point pretty much. And then I would of course I switched out Pokemon before I did this, and then eventually it would call out for help. So then I'd just start knocking out all the extra Blissey, getting tons of experience for people that or Pokemon I'm needing to level up, and then I'm getting tons of money. Unfortunately, you can only max it out, I think, at like 10,000, I think, or maybe it was 50,000. I don't know. There was a certain amount you can only max it out at. But it's still kind of funny to do it. And doing stuff like that is how you get your shinies, because doing that I ended up catching, was it 3? I think 3 different shiny Chansey. And I was excited, and actually one of the Chanseys was extremely good, had the perfect IVs I wanted. And Chansey is better if it's holding an Evilotte than a Blissey is, because that item kind of breaks Chansey. But so I have a shiny Chansey. Shiny Chansey is blue, or not blue, is green. It'd be kind of funny if it was blue. And so I evolved one of my shiny Chanseys, and then when it evolved, I was like, wait, it's not shiny anymore. I thought my game glitched. It was terrible. And I looked at it, and it said it was shiny, so I finally compared it. It's just a slightly paler pink than a regular Blissey, and that ticked me off. I was like, really? Why is Chansey green, but Blissey's just a lighter shade of pink? Unfortunately, a lot of them are like that when it comes to shinies. Now, one thing I'm going to do before I get off tonight is, of course, I do Pokemon Go, and ooh, we got a Caterpie right here. Anyways, today is the Pokemon Day, as they're calling it. I think it's like an anniversary day or something. I'm not really sure what's going on. Anyways, though, Pikachu and Eevee, if you find them in the wild, have little flower crowns on, or whatever you want to call them. I did find out if you evolve the Pikachu or the Eevee into any of its evolutions that has that, it'll also have the flower thing. That's why I call it the flower thing, because I don't know what they were calling it in the game. So I went out today and ended up spending 2.5 hours trying to capture 9 Eevee that had the special thing. One to keep a regular Eevee, and then one to evolve each con. And then it occurred to me, since Eevee's first 3 evolutions are completely random, I may need more. But I was very lucky. I ended up evolving one into Jolteon, then Flareon, and then Vaporeon, just in that order. I was like, oh, right, good. I don't have to worry about it. So now I'm working on getting the Espeon. Of course, you got to walk for 10 kilometers with that Eevee, collect 2 candies with it, and then evolve it during the daytime. And then the same thing for Umbreon, except evolve it at nighttime. But the other day was the what was it? What was it? Pilus one? No, not Pilus one. That was one of the Clamperl. Clamperl event. It wasn't a normal community day where they just pop up. You had to do researches to get it. And I managed to get 2 shinies. Unfortunately, both of them evolved into the same thing, because it's, again, another random evolution. Anyways, what I'm going to do here, because Pokemon Go, because those of you that know about Meltan and stuff, to get Meltan to come back for me, I need to send one Pokemon to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So, bring a Pokemon. Let me type one in. You don't let me do it? Nope. Okay, say this. Magic. I only have one Magikarp. Okay, so that won't work. Okay, so let's do number. So let me find a Pokemon I have a bunch of that I can send over, because I've been collecting some extras just so I can send them over to this thing. Oddish is a good one. Okay. Oh, Poliwag's even good, because I got a bunch of those. Okay, so Power Park 1. Okay, just one. The other day, this thing had some issues actually doing it, and it ticked me off. But it turned out it's because the game needed updated. Yep, that's all it was. Because undoubtedly they punish you for not updating. So I haven't been catching anything in Power Park lately. But when I get extra Eevee, not Eevee, Magikarp, I throw them in here and put them in the exact same place, because I want to end up getting a whole bunch of them. And then I can go and find a shiny Magikarp, hopefully. For those that don't know, it doesn't matter which one you've chained. All shinies that can show up have, that increases the shininess for all the Pokemon on the screen after you've got a chain of 31. But if I'm trying to get a perfect Magikarp, or a great Magikarp stat-wise, that would be the great way to do it. I finally had to let go of a shiny the other day. I was trying to get a Squirtle, and it's just so hard to get the Squirtle. I've done Charmander and Bulbasaur easily, but Squirtle just, oh my goodness, I spent a good hour the other day trying to get a chain, and then a shiny Meowth popped up, and I was like, oh man, so I got the shiny Meowth. Restarted it, got down to I was on a chain of 3, I think, and then a shiny Bellsprout came. I was like, no, I've already got a shiny Bellsprout. And then it disappeared. I was like, okay. Humorously, I think I have a shiny Squirtle, but it's really bad stat-wise. Yeah. Anyways, though, now I can do the Meltan thing, which I'll do later tonight. I'm not going to do it right now. But really, I'm sorry there's no one else on here that plays that in the chat right now, because I thought I had 8. I have more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 extra of these. Actually, I had 15. My son said he needed one, so he took it. I have 14 extras of these, and it makes me very sad. I was at GameStop a while back, and they had a bunch of them. They were just trying to get rid of the past ones, and whole unopened packs of them. So I ended up getting a whole grocery bag pretty much of a few hundred of these event cards, and I just never was able to get them. No, I couldn't find anybody that wanted them. It's kind of sad. I see people giving them away all the time, but when I did it, no one wanted it. So, okay. Also, on a Catholic note, remember, guys, in 1 week from today is Ash Wednesday. So, what do we do on Ash Wednesday? Well, we go to Mass. I don't believe it's a day of obligation, but this is that day you can go and you can get that little smear mark of ash on your forehead. Sometimes you actually get something that actually looks like a cross. Sometimes it's literally a smudge. And then I once saw a meme that said when your priest hates you, and it was just like a huge mark going across someone's face, like huge. So yeah, for those of you that still have your palm leaves from last Palm Sunday, this upcoming Sunday would be the day that you need to take that with you to Mass, so you can put it in whatever capsule they have, container, whatever, to because the ash from Ash Wednesday comes from those palm leaves. They burn it and they use that ash. So the more people that bring palm leaves, the more ash they are, because sometimes you get that little beady smudge because there's not enough ash for everyone for a decent size. Anyway, this has been my kind of introductory video. I hope this grows. It's kind of an experiment, but as I get better technology to use, I'm going to eventually get a better computer too, so I don't know how much of a lag there is right now. But I am planning on getting a good gaming computer in the next, I don't know, 6 months maybe. So I do have to deal with this one for a little bit. But next week I am going to, well, actually later this week, I am going to be ordering this device to help me for video streaming. It's not a capture card. It's a different type of device that streams directly into my camera feed. So it works a lot differently. So I can do live streaming directly without having to worry about a capture card and it saving that whole thing. I'm pretty sure there's some downsides to that, but I'm not really worried about it. My next big thing after that is to get my desk. If it can't fit in this space right here, it's going to go where this thing is, and then that's going to go against that wall over there, and I don't know that. Oh, another good thing I didn't really bring up today is I have Beyblade stuff. I am not a Beyblade geek type of person, like obsessed with it, but it's fun. I like it. Something my son and I can both do together that's hands-on. I tried Bakugan a couple of years back. It seemed fun, but I just wasn't able to. My son was too young at the time to really play, and no one I knew played them and stuff. So they're kind of little fun collectibles, and that was it. Then we got Beyblade about a year ago. Started getting some, and my son loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. We actually got these little micro things, and we tried those, and I really liked it. So I went and got us an arena, and we each got one Beyblade, and we loved it. And from there, we've got now like 15 Beyblades, I think. And we got 2 arenas. We've got the weird blue one. I'll show them to you another day. And we got the most recent one. That's the big red one. That's kind of oval shaped, and it's got these weird little hoops in it and stuff. Undoubtedly, I seem to be an avid Valtryek collector. For those of you that know, I tend to have one of every Valtryek, at least one model of every Valtryek that came out more recently. I don't know enough about Beyblade to know if there were Valtryek before the Beyblade Burst. I can't even say it. Beyblade Burst came out. I don't know if Valtryek existed before then. But we'll go over that sometime. But anyways, on the whole Bakugan thing, they did this huge marketing campaign at Walmart trying to, they redid how Bakugan's done. Instead of it being a full card type game and you have big metal cards and stuff, they changed the metal cards into these little bitty, I guess, hexagon shaped things, which is kind of neat, a little different, and makes it where you can play the game 2 different ways, either the full game including all the cards or just the basic game. It seemed fun. I got a starter set with it and stuff, and my son was excited because he had never really had a chance to really play with them. So we were going to learn. I pulled one of the things I was like, awesome, rolled it, it popped open. I went to close it, and it just snapped in half. No force, and it was the plastic itself that broke. So I told my son, I had to explain to him, I said, if I can't trust these things to not break just with normal gameplay like this, we're not going to invest any money into it. Because, the Beyblades, they're crashing into each other really hard all the time, and guess what? They might chip every so often, but they don't really break. So we like those. But as I was saying, though, this is an introductory video pretty much, so I'm sorry it's kind of dull. It's a little slow. Hopefully, with more videos and more activity, we'll see a lot more people coming in. And hey, Zach, good to see you. Yeah, you see that Pokemon game? I've been talking about Pokemon for like a good 30 minutes. You're coming in as I'm finishing up. Hey, Zach, do you know what these are? We'll guess your age if you know what these are. These, if you want, can you guess what they are in the chat? Let's see if you can guess. While he's guessing, I do have a Switch, by the way. I don't know how to type it right, but Tamagotchi. They're not Tamagotchi. That is what this is, which we also talked about earlier. My Tamagotchi's dead. I'm thinking in a week or so, I may devote a whole until I can get my streaming, stuff. I can't really do much when it comes to actually gameplay like this. But maybe next week I might devote some time to actually restarting this thing because he went home recently. I'm sorry if my mic's a little funky. I'm trying to get better tech as I go. And can you hear me? I normally ask this, and I have one member that comes in and says she can hear me. Okay, there it goes. Okay, maybe it's because I was sitting back a little bit. I don't know. I'm sorry. So if half my video sounds bad, that's my own fault from inexperience. These are Pocket Pikachus. This one came out in 1998. So this thing is over 20 years old. This one came out in, there's no date because I lost this one because a horse trampled me. And it was stuck in the mud for a whole winter and part of a spring in the mud, rain, and everything. I found it, and after 15 years or so, however old this is, I put a battery in it and it worked. So there for ingenuity. However, you can see where the sticker used to be that had all the information that this sticker shows. So I don't have the information of when it came out, unfortunately. I'm going to say it came out a year after this one, and the newest date on this is 98, so I'm going to say this probably came out in 99. They kind of brought these back when they brought out Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And so they had little Poke Walkers that look like Pokeballs, and you could transfer any Pokemon from your game into it and back. And you could also capture Pokemon in it, so you could get like a Pikachu that knew Fly or Surf even. And then they brought them back again with the Pokemon Pro Plus, whatever you call it. The thing that goes with Pokemon Go. It's a little light shape. Hang on, I got one right here. I don't know why I'm saying it when I got it. This thing. It connects to Pokemon Go. Then they released the graded version of that with the Pokeball Plus, which is this device right here, which came out with Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, or you can buy them separately. They are actually Wiimotes, but you can also store Pokemon from Let's Go Eevee and stuff on there. And this one particularly, hang on. Oh my, are you not going to work? Oh my, what's going on with you? He is not working. I wonder if this thing came unplugged or something. No, it looks like it's still plugged. Let me plug it in. If it plugs in and makes the sound, then it's definitely charging, so I don't know what's wrong with it if it's not. Hang on. Yeah? Yeah, it sounds like the old Pokemon Center when you plug it in. And yes, I am excited about Sword and Shield. I saw that right after they aired it this morning. I'm a little disappointed that it looks like Wild Encounters are going to be back to how they used to be instead of how everybody pretty much loves how they do it in this game. I suggested maybe they'll make it a toggle where you can switch between the old style or the new style. We don't know, and of course the games aren't even finished, and part of the trailer even says not actual great gameplay. So for all we know, they will have overworld Pokemon like that. I really don't know what's going with this Pokeball. It's not. I mean, hang on. This is starting to bother me now. I have a Mewtwo in this. I have to be able to turn it on. Oh man. Your mic's okay. Let's see. I used to have a Pokewalker. Recently been playing my old Heart Gold game. I have two Pokewalkers because I got both versions of the game, but my wife played Soul Silver, and she got like 2 gym badges, I think, because she wasn't really a big gamer, but she was having fun with it. So I really want to know what's wrong with this Pokeball Plus. And I guess I'll experiment with it later. It takes about 3 hours to charge it. Let's see if in 3 hours if it still works. It was more like realistic. Yeah, it does feel realistic. That's one of the big improvements that was a test in the Let's Go games, to see how well they worked, and the vast majority loves it. It's from what I can tell, at least. I've seen great approval ratings of it. Of course, I don't really like the catching mechanic. I miss battling, so I mean they could still have it with overworld Pokemon like that, but instead of having to just throw Pokeballs and try to catch it, actually battle it and then try to catch it. Um, it is easier for shiny hunting too. In fact, I've probably got like 20 or 30 shinies in it right now. It's ridiculous. Um, Half of them aren't even shinies I was looking for. However, I do have a shiny Charmander actually following me right now in the game. It's kind of cool. I don't know if you probably can't. Even if I pointed the camera at the screen, you wouldn't be able to see it. That's about as good as the screen looks right there, unfortunately. Um, but I don't have a shiny Bulbasaur, I don't think, but I do have a shiny Squirtle, but it's terrible in stats, so I can't use it. I do have a shiny Beedrill, not Beedrill, Kakuna, Weedle, Metapod, and Caterpie. Just take a picture and send it to Discord. Well, yeah, I can probably do that later. Um, but yeah, that's all my little Pokemon stuff, though. Anyways, I am going to get off. I've got some other stuff to do. This is Doctor Who night for me, so we will be watching Doctor Who. Shiny Metapod is bright red, by the way, if you didn't know. Also, on a random side note, because we've been talking a little bit about Pokemon Go, they have recently released Smeargle. So a lot of people don't know how to get Smeargle. I haven't even got it yet, but at least I know how. So they updated the game with the camera, and now you can actually choose it as one of your items. And you open it up, and it says make sure there's room, have your AR plus turned on, and then it lets you choose a Pokemon, any of the Pokemon you've captured that you still have, not anything you've released, of course. So you choose one of those Pokemon, and then it goes into a. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag, but eventually it'll open it up, and you'll just see what's in front of you on your phone. And if you get to a flat surface, you'll see these little sparkles, and if it's flat enough, you'll start seeing little yellow footsteps. Um, it's good to try getting the footsteps far away from you so you can throw your Pokeball, because when you tap the footprints, it throws a Pokeball, and that Pokemon comes out. Now I use Giratina, and so it like fills up my whole kitchen, and so I keep having to back up. But what you do is you take a bunch of pictures, and then it will, when you're done, you click back, and then it'll give you little previews of these pictures, and you have to go through them one at a time. And if you happen across one that shows a Smeargle photo bombing your photo, when you exit out of the camera and go back to the regular screen, there will be a Smeargle there waiting for you to attack or to try capturing. Um, but it can take forever. I've taken over 300 photos and haven't gotten it. Some people I know have taken like 10 and gotten it. So it's very random, and a lot of people I've heard are hoping Niantic updates that to make it a little bit easier, because the ratio is weird. But anyways, though, you don't have any Pokeballs. I admittedly spend some money in Pokemon Go, but it's a game that I'm very devoted to, so I don't mind spending a little bit of money. It's about once a week, probably, or month. I mean, I get the big box in the the store. But I do a lot of walking, so downtown here has like 30 Pokestops. So in fact, I keep having to upgrade my storage. Right now, I can hold up to 1,850 items, I think. I don't have anywhere near that much right now. I'm at 1,300 right now, but yeah. Anyways, I've got to go. I've said that like 4 times, 3 or 4 times. Anyways, I will be back next week, because this is a. Oops, I don't want to leave the website. What are you doing? This is a weekly thing I'm going to be doing. So next week, maybe we'll do the Tamagotchi thing. I'll if any of y'all are in Amino, I will maybe make a poll on what y'all would like to see me do, or make a post and just ask what y'all would like to see. I'll just have to see. I might make a poll with 4 options, and then number 5 be other, then comment. Anyways, though, I'm going to end. Y'all have a good night, and God bless.